With that in mind, it's been Democratic administration, I believe now 18 years, something closing in on that, 16, 18. Graham Richard following Paul Helmke, the Republican, and then Tom Henry. How would you're talking about privatization and changing the approach of government, how would you rate what has been done over the years? Do you see Graham as a great leader and Tom as a great leader, or do you see them as not having done what could have benefited the city the best?
You know, I think when you look at the fact that we've had a balanced budget, you can lay a lot of that at Graham's, under Graham's leadership. I mean, I think what Graham did was really brought in a much needed focus on Six Sigma and lean, and trying to make sure that we were discovering waste and eliminating it. And we're reaping the benefits of a lot of that activity now when we see our revenues decreasing and we're able to do more with fewer people. As people retired, we did not have to hire more people, and so we were able to do more with fewer people. So I give Graham a lot of credit for that. I think there was just a lot of innovative and creative things that he did. I think when it comes to Tom, you know, I've gone on record to say this a couple times. You know, Tom is an extraordinarily nice man. I like him personally. We have a lot of enjoyable moments together as we go to different events and we see each other. At the same time, I view Tom as largely a ceremonial mayor, and he is very good at that. I think we're in a time in our city where we need to move beyond that, because ceremonial mayors are really good when your city is functioning at the highest level possible. But when you're in a need for growth, then I think you need a different kind of more proactive, more aggressive mayor, and that's where I think I'm different than Tom.
Would you then get rid of the job of deputy mayor if you were going to be the CEO? Would that be a cost savings you could affect?
No, I think when you have a good executive team with an organization this large, you must have a good executive team, first of all. And when you have a good executive team, what I've generally found in my career is they pay for themselves many times over. If you do not have a good deputy mayor, or the equivalent of a chief operating officer, then what you'll generally find is that you'll have more waste. And that waste, and relative to the amount of money you pay in a salary, the salary is de minimis compared to the waste that they generally can find. So this is a very large organization. It's very complex with a lot of moving parts. And again, when you start looking at where to cut, you must cut carefully, or you begin to eliminate some of the advantages that could be potentially had.
Close your eyes, lean back a little bit, and philosophize about the role of mayor. What is a mayor? And what are the components that you see? And you've gone over this a bit already, but what are the components that you see, and how are they important to leading a city?
Well, you know, clearly the mayor is the CEO of the city. And so as the CEO, CEOs that are generally doing a good job set a vision. And so they explain very clearly what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so that everyone can clearly understand what that vision is. And then they also work very diligently with their team to make sure that we have good hows. How are we going to get this? How are we going to accomplish this vision? How are we going to get it done? And then there's also, you know, a mayor largely is influential. That is, many of the things that a mayor can do is more influence in nature rather than control. And so when you look at some of our social issues, for example, it's working very closely with 501c3s to make sure that, number one, they're well funded, and number two, that I'm doing everything I can as a mayor to enhance that opportunity to solve some of those issues. So some of the things that we do are more direct as the mayor, as a CEO, in terms of what we manage, and some of the things are more like what we influence. You know, for example, education. A mayor does not control education in Fort Wayne. A mayor simply influences it. But what I know, as from my background and my experience, is that if you do not have a good educational system, then you're going to have a hard time attracting and retaining jobs. So as I've explained to many people, I am the mayor of charter schools, I'm the mayor of private schools, and I'm the mayor of public schools. And my hope and dream and goal is that each of them are extraordinarily successful, because when they are, we have well-educated kids, a well-educated workforce, and we have an easier time attracting and retaining jobs. So those are some examples, some really tangible examples of how a mayor can influence the city and really create an environment of entrepreneurship and innovation and greater opportunity for everyone.